You may be wondering how I got here. Hi, my name is Nim and welcome to Goblin Goose, where you are here to watch me make very silly things in a very unprofessional way because I believe crafts should be accessible to anyone. For those of you wondering, yes, I did cut my hair. And yes, you'll find out during the video why I did that. 'Tis the season. Spooky season. And that means the time is now to make another unpolluted and very impractical costume for Samhain. The concept for this costume was a vampire stuck midway transformation. Maybe she's an inexperienced vampire, maybe she got distracted, maybe she's just plain stupid. I wanted the main focus to be on the large ears and the wings, which would be an interesting challenge to make realistically a part of my body. I also truly enjoy how fuzzy bats look, so I really wanted to integrate that in the design. So, I lost some footage of me making the pattern for the wings, but I used a very nice tutorial from Mossy Cosplay, who has made some incredible bat costumes. As you can see, I also chose a great camera angle. You can totally see what I'm doing here. Riveting. Most of the wing process involved pushing obscene amounts of fabric through my poor old baby sewing machine to make arm sleeves built into the wing. After I'd seamed up the top portion of the wings, I wrapped some wire and foam and placed them into the wings to make those crazy long bat fingers. I used a healthy amount of fabric glue on both layers of fabric to really squish those stitches in. I thought it would be a good idea to reinforce those fingers so the wire would definitely stay in place. I wasn't able to stitch close enough to the edge without one of those special sewing feet, so I had to let that idea go. Those are some truly rough scenes. Speaking of rough, look at that premium sewing posture. Anyway, since I used 2 layers of fabric instead of a nice elastic flowing one, which would have been much better in hindsight, oh well, and I was deathly afraid of breaking a needle on the wire, I had to sew the edges of the wings by hand. I got to spend some time on the floor, which was quite nice. The first try-on for the wings was a success. It was a bit fiddly wiggling into them and trying to film it, but look at those! Now, with the biggest challenge out of the way, it was time to figure out the rest of the costume. It's been a minute. I started this costume in September 2024 for Halloween, and then my life kind of exploded. I had to put this away in a box until I found a more permanent place to live. I went through kind of a rough patch, and I did what anyone does during a rough patch. I cut my bangs, but that wasn't enough now, was it? Anyway, thank you for everyone who's still following me, even after literally disappearing for a year after my first video came out. I'm really stoked to be back. Now, let's go back to making stupid bat costumes, shall we? Let's go. Okay, so starting where we left off, I needed to find a way to attach the wings to my body. I originally thought of making a bodysuit, but I was too lazy and ended up just cutting the arms of an old stretch top I never wore anymore. Attaching the wings was in itself an interesting experience. I was very lucky to have found a second-hand dress form so I could take into account how much the top would stretch when sewing on the wings. I did decide to use my sewing machine to sew them up, which meant I once again had to shove too much fabric through my itty bitty machine. As you can imagine, this was kind of a struggle, but I persevered and managed to not destroy my machine or my wings, which was great. I used some leftover fabric from the top to improvise a snap closure, so I did end up making a bodysuit after all. And in a move completely in character, I didn't check if my top was on the right way when fitting the sleeves, so I ended up with a tag in front and a bit of a weird fit, but all in all it was fine. Remember when I said I wanted my costume to be a little fuzzy and furry? Well, that's what we're doing today. Last year I got some of this really nice gingery fake fur to use in this project. Ginger and paper, is that a thing? Against my nature, I'm not just hacking into this fur and hoping for the best, but I'm actually gonna make a tape pattern for this. Making up a tape pattern is actually really easy. You tape up your dress form and then you cut it right back off. Once that's off, I'm able to cut off the excess of foil, fine-tune the pattern itself and add dots where necessary. Then I trace everything out on paper to make transferring it on fur a little bit easier. I knew I wasn't going to be able to sew the fur with my machine, so I had to attach the fur by hand to the top. Because I chose to have a high neck in the design, I had to install a zipper so I could fit my head through the top. I knew if I didn't install a zipper, there was no way for me to actually get into the top. I mean, I've got a small head, I don't have that small of a head. I'm actually a bit nervous to put this on because I didn't really think about how putting on the fur on the top will impact the tension, because the top is a knit fabric and this is not a knit fabric. But I guess we'll see, right? This is going to be so itchy. Okay, so that is not bad. That is not bad. I can't sit myself up. I'm actually quite pleased. But yeah. The most recognizable part of a bat are its ears. So ears were going to be a very, very big aspect of this project, and I really wanted to make them like really large, like comically large. I had already made the ears last year with EVA foam. To attach the ears to my head, I knew I had to make some kind of structure. I decided to make a wire headpiece covered in foam to attach the ears to, which worked splendidly. Next up was attaching the ears to the headpiece. Gluing wasn't enough. I had to actually sew EVA foam to wire, which was how the EVA foam kept ripping. It ended up fine, but I did not have fun doing it. Look at this mess. I am deeply ashamed. This is the first one I did. Why is it so much better? Next up was making a pattern for the fur covering the headpiece. I decided to glue on scraps of foam to make a base on the the wire piece, to then make a tape pattern on those bits of foam, because I couldn't figure out how to do it without the base. I ended up having to rip out the foam because it was just too bulky and it looked really strange. So that was just a very unnecessary step, but I did it anyway. I look like Tom Holston nowadays. Did I make a mistake making this? I think it's painting time. I used some Flex Bond for priming the ears and some really old acrylics for painting the ears. Just look at the span width of this thing. Can't even get a fully on camera. My goodness. Time to paint this. Alright, she's back on the mannequin. This is basically done. Right, but my original sketch, the bat vampire thing, is actually wearing a dress. Now, I've done some oopsies, which means that I can't just make a dress, period. So I'm gonna have to pattern out this part so I can attach it to the top itself. I'm not very good at pattern making. I usually mess something up, and the wing is in the way, so it's gonna have to be like in 4 separate pieces. Another problem is that the top is, like, again, jersey, so it stretches all ways, so I can't just put fabric on there. So I'm gonna have to find a way to add the fabric and have it still fit me. So, onto the dress. For the dress, I originally thought about draping it. Turns out I really suck at draping, so I decided to try something else. Like little chaos goblin I am, I made up a pattern myself. Badly. Okay, here's something of my own design. I call this chaos draping because I have 0 experience in draping. I don't like wasting fabric because I make a lot of mistakes because I'm very impatient. And paper is cheap and I have plenty of that.
people with sewing experience, feel free to yell at me in the comments.
So I just finished hand sewing everything and I cannot believe the Franken pattern worked. It's wrinkly, it's wonky as hell, but it fits, and that is the most important part. Is this a male gaze? I thought to do a little makeup test, but it's not going to be makeup, it's going to be teeth. The general idea was that I was going to do like Nosferatu teeth, like the pointy ones, and I checked and vampire bats actually have the same thing. So I got myself these. These are fake acrylic nails because I lost the teeth I actually bought last year in my move. These are already sticking. Great. Okay, so that. No, that's too big. Where did I get you from? How about these? Huh. Okay, I think these are a good size. Oh god, this is gonna look so silly. I think I want the teeth to stop here. Oh. Okay, first of all, that is really sharp. And I think I'm gonna hurt myself doing that. And I think that's quite good. Great. Okay, you got some polydents. Okay, how long do I wait? Because it doesn't say. Ugh. Go on, stick. Oh. That's great. This is going to be impossible to eat it. Are these too large? Can't fucking talk shit though. Oh god. What the fuck did I do? First off, I made another tape pattern, which is so easy to make a little boot cover. I cut it out, I cut it up, I cut my fur, I sewed it, I added the zipper, and bam, you've got booties. Hello again, welcome to the floor of my bedroom. I am not a makeup artist. And also, I won't be able to see anything while I'm doing my makeup because my eyesight is really, really bad. So if I'm worse at looking at the camera, that's because I'm blind. I'm literally blind. I literally cut this off a pair of panties that I don't use anymore. So easy, fun, recycled. I just realised that without my glasses on, I can't really see my reference pic, which is really fucking annoying. How am I going to do this? No, I don't. I have to go downstairs. Why is my life so hard? I don't know what I'm doing. This just makes me look like I've got a cold. Oh yes, sick chic. Do it for the vine. Do it for the vine. For the vine. How do you see what I'm doing? Get myself a jawline because I lost my jawline because of all of the fucking meds I have to take. I look like I've got a fucking beard. Oh, this is gonna be a mess.
2 hours later.
Okay. This is horrible. I should have looked up a tutorial. I'm not gonna take this off. This took too long. Okay, I'm taking it off. This is going into the reveal.
It's done.
I'm really happy this is done. This whole project has been in a box for a full year. Having this finished and having it fit and being really, really happy with how this turned out, I think that was worth the wait. I love, love, love how the headpiece turned out. Like, these ears are just... The hair is really itchy. I also really like how the dress turned out. It's not perfect. The seams are... but it's functional and it'll have to do. There are some things about the wings that I like and don't like. I do like the paint job that I did, even though it was like really hard. Can't fucking get this on camera, can I? I really like the paint job. What I don't like about it is that the fabric that I chose is a bit too stiff. I would like to thank quite a lot of people for helping me through this year. Without them, this probably wouldn't have been possible. Thank you so much for looking at this video. I hope you liked it, and I wish you a very, very wonderful day. Bye! That is a costume.